Okay, so we're gonna have a few people join us, but we should get started. Last session of the day, we're just a few minutes late, but thank you so much for being here, for sticking around. This session, we're gonna talk about water. Isn't that not the most important thing, the foundation of what we all need, have good, high quality water? So it's James Roberts, he represents a company called Northern Water Cleaners, and years ago, my wife had done a lot of research. And maybe to back up, I should just admit right away, I am a water snob. Anybody else? Only the best, of the best. And so literally for years, I didn't drink any other water other than freshly harvested spring water that I had personally collected myself right from the ground. Now, there are limitations to that. Of course, when you're cooking, when you're bathing, you know, isn't that a prima donna? I only bathe in spring water. No. we bought the filters, we did this, we did that. And Laura did a bunch of research. We wanted to get something for the home that would do everything, right? So we could cook in it, we could bathe in it, we could water a garden with it. And she found this, I have to say, you know, I don't love the name, Northern Water Cleaners. It just says what it does, but it's just like, it's a very practical name, Northern Water Cleaners. So there we are.
It's not sexy.
It's not sexy. It's not. Yes,
yeah,
you called it. Okay. But it's so practical, it's so functional, and yeah, we've been loving the filter to the point where I actually will occasionally get spring water now. I still do. I love spring water, but I'm just so content with the water that we have, and it's easy. I mean, imagine that. You just turn on the tap and you can drink the water. I know that's reality for most people, but it wasn't for me for the longest time. So James is going to talk about water filtration, benefits of, in particular, this system. And we've just launched today where if somebody wants to try it or use it as their water source, you're welcome to come and fill up. We've got a filling station just kind of in the back that we got set up. It's just by donation. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what companies charge for filtered water, but it's whatever feels right for you. Because it's on tap. So every tap in this building is filtered for the 4-stage of carbon that James will talk about. And then after the filter, we put it through a copper pipe that implodes it through a spiral vortex. And if you get into the work of someone like Victor Schauberger, they talk about how water energizes itself. Its natural movement is through spiral, through curving, right? Water doesn't go in straight lines, but we force it through in pipes, and it can often lose its vitality, especially if we throw it through reverse osmosis or any of these types of systems. So coming out the other end, that revitalizes it. So anyways, I'm sure we'll taste some water, we'll have to chat about water, filter, and James is a pretty easygoing guy. I think you got that sense from him so far already. Pretty casual, and we'll just, fire any water question at him. And maybe the topic of fluoride might come up too, which it's not in Calgary water yet. Oh, it already has, eh? Yeah, that's a hot topic. Man, oh man, oh man. So we have, what, is it a year or two until it officially goes in? Who knows? Who knows? They voted for it. Again, who voted for that, right? They're drinking too much fluoride. Whoever voted for that? So, anyways, take it away, James.
Thank you. Well, that was quite the introduction. I got to live up to that. So I think we're going to change our slogan to "Water's not sexy, but we get the job done." Right? That might be it now. That could be our slogan. But you know, water is so important, and in North America, water's pretty good. In Canada, water is better. And in Calgary, much to not our benefit, Calgary has some of the best water in the world. Right? We don't have a lot of industrial upstream. We don't have a lot of cities. We don't have a lot coming off the mountain. So we have some pretty good water here. And so people don't realize, oh, well, this is good water. This is good enough. Well, that's not really true because there's certain things that are still in it. There's add-ons that come on it, but there's also more and more getting into the rivers that we drink from. Right? So I don't want to seem like the bearer of bad news for a while, but I am going to be the bearer of bad news. So I apologize if I offend you or bummed you out or make you make you sad about water because, you know, for the most part, drinking water is one of the biggest concerns of governments around the world. If you study this at all or you do any reading at all, the water treatment plants that we have in Calgary here are fairly modern comparative to anywhere else in the world. And I don't know if you've traveled anywhere, gone to different countries as a tourist, lived like a local, grew up in a different country. As you can see, I spent a lot of time in Africa. I lived there for a while. But water is dangerous. And you can't drink it, you can't use it. So around the world, it's dangerous, but we're blessed to have it. But governments are doing, and I'm not going to bash the governments, they're doing the best that they can. Okay. Actually, I have a couple of customers who work at the water treatment plants. And they're saying, look, we can only do what we can do. The infrastructure is aging. It's not filtering as well as it used to. The funding is not there where it used to be. And so they're trying, over the last probably 40 years, the level of acceptability for water has dropped. Right? So it's not, they do enough so it won't kill us immediately. But long-term studies have shown that it is doing more and more harm to us. Okay? So, you know, our bodies are made up of millions and millions of cells. 90% of our brain is water, 90% of our blood is water. Our system is water. And if we contaminate that water, if we contaminate our system with water, then our organs are going to prematurely shut down. They're going to start to deteriorate sooner. And we see that with studies. We see that with studies for health and wellness, young females in puberty. We see that in an aging process, in Alzheimer's, various things like that. And they're now, probably the last 20 years or so, they're attributing it more and more to chemicals and contaminants in the water, right? But here's the issue with water. Okay, so if you just drink straight up tap water, we have chemicals and contaminants, or we can strip water bare and have nothing. Okay, so that used to be your only two choices, really. Okay, so what we've done as a company over the last 40 years is we've developed a system or designed a system that takes out the chemicals and contaminants in the water, but leaves the minerals in there. Okay, I had one customer. We were chatting. He was kind of funny. He says, "What wizardry is this that you can do it?" Right. Well, the interesting part of this, the wizardry has been known for a millennium. Right, for thousands of years, people have used this. It's activated carbon. Right back, we have historical documentation of the Egyptians, Babylonians, Assyrians. They all use some sort of carbon filtration for their water, which is fantastic. But the issue is that what we've done is we've taken it and we've done a lot of R&D to manufacture it to be chemically compliant with taking out chemicals and contaminants, but leaving in nutrients. So it's all in how it's fired, it's how it's used, what type of carbon, how it's stacked, and how we do it. It makes the chemical attraction so that it'll take out the chemicals, leave in the nutrients, because our body needs it. Now, and if anybody wants to know the term, it's called hydrogen bonding. Okay, that's kind of how it works, is that we bond with the molecules to keep all the contaminants in the container. Healthy, clean water is the base for life. Our bodies are 80%, blood and brain are 90%. And when we drink water, we are supplying our cells with new energy, new nutrients, washed into our organs from the food we eat. Our cells carry these energies to our organs and our bloodstreams, and this is the continuous process. So every day, all day, if you eat, if you drink, if you do anything like that, it's going to happen to your body. So the key is what we're looking at is if water is the basis of life, and we know it's not sexy, but you know what? Have you ever drank a glass of water and went, oh, it's kind of like, and then you drink a glass of water and go, man, the body's just kind of like, woo. That's my water right there. You know what? There's a filling station right out there. Go out there, grab some, have a drink, and come back and tell everybody how great it is. It's all there. Yeah, just go around the corner, go left, go right to the end and go left. You'll see it. Wow, that's a good endorsement right there. she'll come back and sing our praises and everybody will be happy. But see, that's the whole idea, right? Is we want our body to be nutrient rich with the water that you have. You know, if you're on a hot day, you're working out, you're outside, you drink that water and all of a sudden your body goes, this is what I need. And that is exactly what you need. And that's what we've spent 40 years studying and trying to accomplish. So that when you drink it, you'll be fine. And many of you, I'm sure, maybe go up to Canmore to get the spring water. That's fine. This is welcome test to it. But proud to say we've converted it into our system. So you know, it makes sense. The Canmore spring water?
Yes, very.
Everybody I talk to like it.
It's amazing. I've heard, we've been drinking it 12, 13 years.
It's,
We're still here.
I'm just curious, has anybody ever done a water test on it?
The city of Canmore does.
Oh, they do
Yeah.
on the springs?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've been told it's the purest, cleanest water we've ever found. And we're in a lab that friends of friends have taken it to. That's
You know what? I have no doubt that it is probably one of the finest in the world, just because of where it comes from and how it gets there.
I like it when sparks get caught. Yeah. And there's a big sign.
Yeah, but stolen water always tastes better.
Right. And there's a big sign there that says this water has not been tested, and it's posted by the town or the city or some government official. So then you know
Of course.
it's very good for you, right?
Exactly.
Whatever the government's gonna post on there, they're trying to scare you away from the good water, so you know it's good.
So what do you think?
Still water. And so much notice.
There's so much what?
There's so much non-taste that it is bad. So this has body. This has
This has the body, yeah. And I could, let's talk to you about distilled water in a bit of why it's different. Right? So I don't know if any of you, how many contaminants do you think is in any given water source?
300.
300. Come on, give me a guess.
It's not government.
Give me a number. How many? Thousands. What's that? How about about 110,000 different contaminants in any given water source? Yeah, right. And so they go from anywhere from the benign to harmless to deadly and toxic. So anywhere in that field, you're going to get some sort of contaminants, right? And any type of contaminant that's in water is going to affect you and your health and your growth. So at Northern Water Cleaners, our endeavor is to get that out as much as possible. Not just take it to government acceptable standards, but to take it to the lowest possible standard or the lowest possible trace whatsoever. Okay? And it's not wizardry, it's just science, right? And I'll get to that in a bit. The number one thing that people ask me about in water is, nope, that's number two. Chlorine. Chlorine is the number one, because every municipal water system in the world uses chlorine or some sort of mix of chlorine to kill the bacteria and the contaminants in the water. Okay. Now, that's fair. I'm not going to disperse them for that, because they have to do what they have to do to get it so it won't kill us, so that we can have water that we need. Okay. But chlorine, your body cannot process chlorine. It cannot break it down, it cannot expel it, it cannot neutralize it and pass it. What it does, what chlorine does, is chlorine begins to break down your organs. Okay? And more over the years, more and more chlorine has to be put into water systems. Now, I don't know if you, in the spring, you ever notice there's maybe a little bit more of a smell in your water? Well, that's because every spring they have to put more and more chlorine because of the runoff. They don't tell you that, but that's what they have to do. But it's still acceptable. So even the acceptable amount of chlorine they put in, they raise it every spring, and it's still acceptable. So they're doing what a government mandate will tell them to do. And that's what it is. Right? So chlorine and other chemicals are a direct threat to our health, especially kids, especially developing organs, especially young kids who we find that more and more disease is happening to younger people. That's because their organs are not developing properly, their organs are not functioning properly. You know, I'm not going to get into horror stories. I don't want to be the mayor of that. But that's just, you know, you can read about it. There's studies published that are non-governmental studies that are published.
And the thyroid taking out the iodine and going, making havoc in the.
They do it that. Yeah, they certainly do it that. You know, 40 years ago, they used to say, don't drink tap water. It was bad. So then they came up with the bottled water industry. Right? Billions and billions of dollars a year bottled water. Now they're saying, don't drink bottled water. Go back to tap water. Because they're finding out that bottled water is just tap water in a bottle in most cases. Or it's reverse osmosis, or it's something is just here. You know, they advertise it as all sorts of stuff, but it really isn't a nutrient-based water. It's a scientific fact that more chemicals enter your body through pores when you bathe, shower, than by drinking the water. There are several ways chemicals from your body or from tap water can enter your body. So now I talk to a lot of people. They say, yeah, I have a drinking station here, Berkey, Santiva, Brita, filter this or that. And that's fine. It will filter to a certain level, a certain point. But that's your drinking water. What happens if you're anything like my wife? One of her greatest pleasures in life is to sit in the bath for 2 or 3 days at a time. Just enjoy her quiet time. But then if you keep refilling with chlorinated water, what's happening? What's happening? Chlorine is coming through your pores. The contaminant is coming through your pores. You do dishes. Your dishwasher. Hot water gets blasted onto your plates. It evaporates. The chlorine sits on your plates. You put hot food in it, it can soak into your food. You do laundry. Chlorinated water gets in your clothes. You sweat. It's hot out. What happens is suck into your body. So you just don't want a drinking station for you. What you want is you want a whole home water cleaning system. Oh, brought to you by Northern Water Cleaners. But that's really what you want, is because you want all the water in your home filtered and clean. How many of you run gardens? How many have a garden in your backyard? Right? You don't want to feed your plants chlorinated water. Okay? That what negates it, right? Then you're going to get fertilizer. All sorts of things like that. So what you want to do is you want to do your best to get the whole your whole life with filtered water, with clean water. Okay, whether it's drinking, showering, bathing, dishes, laundry, your garden, your grass. Your grass and pets will love it. You walk out on your grass, it'll give you little hugs because the water's great. So they'll enjoy it as you mow it. So that's kind of the goal, is what you want for a clean, healthy lifestyle. Right? Now I know you're here, so you're obviously health conscious. You want healthy products. That's why you come to the Light Cellar. You can begin with in your home with clean, healthy water. Okay. So what we've done is we've developed a system that's more than drinking water. Okay. Cleans all the water, and gets all the chemicals out of the water. Now back to chlorine. So in 1907, that's when they started using chlorine. Okay. Now I know I'm probably the closest one here to what you. Chlorine gas was used to kill people. So it's so bad that the nations got together and outlawed it, but yet they'll put chlorine in the water. Okay? When you shower, you're breathing in chlorine vapor. One of my sons has asthma, and his showers, he says, were terrible. He said because he'd start breathing, he'd start to cough and wheeze. We got the filter probably 12 years ago. Cleared it up. His eczema, right? With the harsh chemicals in the water. Cleared it up. You see, so that's what chemicals will do. It's not just the bad taste, it's just not the bad smell, but it affects all parts of your body. Oh, here we go. Let me read this to you about chlorine. Chlorine in the blood will cause mucus on the blood vessels to dry up. It's called hardening of the arteries. The whole body is miles of blood vessels. All the blood vessels have mucus protecting the walls, and chlorine destroys that protection. A lot of times we talk about the hardening of the arteries when you eat fatty foods, smoke too much, drink alcohol. But you know what? Chlorine will do the same thing because we can't process it. It just begins to break down. So those are the important things about water. The bottom line is don't drink chlorinated water. I was doing a seminar a few years ago. I found out, you know how many cows approximately are between Calgary and Medicine Hat? There's about 250,000 cows between Calgary and Medicine Hat. Now, cows poop. Gets in the system, gets in the water, gets in the river, and flows down. So now all of a sudden, not only do we have things coming in, now we have extra or external forces bringing water, bringing contaminants into the water. We have fertilizer, we have pesticides, we have sewage, we have organic material, all coming into the river system that we drink from. Okay. We're blessed here. Going west, we have a few caribou, cows, horses, deer, bears, bison, things like that, but not nearly to the extent as downstream. But again, it still gets in the water and they can't take it out. Their job is not to remove that. Their job is to sterilize that as best they can. But we still have it when it gets to our house. Okay. Probably the last 40, 50 years, one of the greatest increases in water for a contaminant is pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical industry has exploded in the last 5 decades. Everybody's got a pill for something. Pill or anything to help them. But what happens is people, if they have extra, toilet or even if they go to the bathroom, that will come out of the body, any excess will come out of the body and head into the river system. Okay? Water treatment plants are not designed to take that out. So we still get pharmaceuticals in there. If you take a water sample from your house, you will get traces of pharmaceuticals that you do not want in your body at all. And it's beginning to affect people's organs, not just in the development, but it's changing them. Right? For us guys. Too much estrogen in the water can affect us. Too much manly can affect you guys. Teenage girls are going into puberty younger and younger because of pharmaceuticals. And what it causes is pharmaceuticals in water. You see? So these are just the bearer of bad news of all that's in there. It's kind of bad here now, telling you what's all in there. But this is what you face with every day when you turn the tap on in your house. So it's not just your drinking water, but it's your whole home that you do have to worry about, you do have to be concerned about. Right? So here, talked about distillation a bit ago. So we started out looking at reverse osmosis. Okay? What reverse osmosis basically does is strips the water bare and leaves you with dead water, as they say. Now, with reverse osmosis too, it's the most expensive and the least environmental. It wastes a lot of water because it does a lot of back flushing, it does a lot of flushing. So it's just not, it's not healthy, it's not efficient. Last year, 2 years ago, India banned reverse osmosis from the country. It's using too much water. They don't have enough water, they can't do it. So it may take out the contaminants, but it doesn't leave a nutrient-rich water. Secondly, distillation. Okay, distillation, it does take out some, but it allows some through. And that's why you're getting that little bit of an off taste, because some is still coming through. Okay, it won't collect all the contaminants that it should. It does part of it. Okay. That's what it is. That's essentially the distillation process. Okay. I mean, if that's all you have, okay, it's better than nothing. And I will admit, we put reverse osmosis systems in places because sometimes on a well, that's all you can do. It's so bad that you have to just get rid of everything so that they can actually have water that they can. I get it, I understand. But municipally speaking, you don't need any of that. You don't need that, and you don't need distillation. I'll tell you, this is what we've done. Okay, so we have tested several different types of carbon from various different materials. There's coal, there's wood, hardwood, and softwood. There's coconut shell, different types that we've worked with. We stack it and we pack it differently to find out what was the best, of course, we could do. You got to realize that this process took 3 decades of testing, and we worked with Health Canada on this so that when we were ready to go to market, when we were ready to put it on the market, it was Health Canada approved, because you can't put a water filtration system on the market unless Health Canada approves it. Okay. So what we've done is we were able to match carbon and the activated carbon with the pollutants so successfully that through chemical attraction, we can pull that out, all the chemicals and contaminants out while leaving the nutrients in. That's just years of research and trial and error. That's what we've done. Okay, and so it's good for everybody. One of the things with Health Canada is bacteria build up in water filtration systems. That's the number one concern. Okay, so a lot of systems they'll use power to backflush the system. They'll use external filters, paper filters and fiber filters to hold the bacteria brine, and then at certain times of day backflush into the sewer system. Now, that's fine if you have power. If you want to change filters, sometimes the fiber filters or the paper filters will rip and tear, and you'll get bacteria leakage into your system. So what we've done with ours is it's a self-contained system with an antibacterial device in it. So when water comes in, gives it a shot of the antibacterial device, kills bacteria on contact, and leaves the dead bacteria on top. Okay? Guess what the antibacterial device is? You said it earlier. Crystallized iodine.
What is that?
Crystallized iodine.
Crystallized iodine.
Yeah, that's the antibacterial device. Okay? That's what kills bacteria. Now, also too, iodine's good for you. Silver won't do it well enough. No, Health Canada won't allow that because it's not good enough, and it will. What it does, it doesn't kill the bacteria. It renders it inert, but the bacteria is still there. So they want it dead. Okay. So no, the silver oxide will. Okay. And iodine's good for you. So iodine will come through. So not only are I'm not interested.
Is it iodine?
Crystallized iodine. Iodine is good for you too. They're both. Right? Okay. So, and that's what we've done with our system to bring clean, healthy water to your life. Here's a few things that we remove. And this is what people know. We remove chlorine, aluminum, mercury, silver, pesticides, lead, zinc, manganese, sewage, herbicides, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, organic material, arsenic, nickel. Things like that we don't need. Many filtration systems won't take out heavy metals. They won't take out dissolved solvents. We do, yes. We'll get to fluoride in a minute. We'll have a discussion about that. Okay. So those are the things that most people ask about, but we also take out many, many other things that people don't. Well, and that's fine. So that way it's clean and healthy for you guys. We'll look after it for you. You just get the benefit. Because clean, healthy water is essential for you to develop and be healthy. Fluoride. So here's the hot topic of the day. The city has voted to put in fluoride. In their infinite wisdom, they have said we need to introduce fluoride. What they didn't tell you is is that they may have voted it in, but they have done nothing to further it since. Okay? So what's going to need to happen for the city to introduce fluoride is first of all, they have to go through a study. Of course they do, to make sure that it's going to happen. Secondly, then they have to spend up to $10 million to upgrade the Bearspaw and treatment plants before they can even introduce fluoride into the system. Then they have to spend between, I think it's $1.5 million to $2 million a year, just for the fluoride alone. Yeah. Just for the fluoride alone.
Is there any chance you could turn off your mic or just when you turn your head?
Oh, sorry.
With the fridge noise.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
stuff, it's hard to hear.
All right, I'll go this way. Okay,
No, but.
I think this mic is just for them. I'll talk louder.
It's a little bit of background noise.
Okay, I'll stand. Just talk louder. I'll talk louder. You bet. So it's about 10 million to start the fluoride system in the plants. About $1.5 million to $2 million a year just for the fluoride. Okay. So and if they said tomorrow we are going to start the fluoridation process, it would probably take them up to 18 to 24 months just to get it moving. So we do have time. Okay. And they also have to not get a backlash from people of spending $10 million in this economic climate. So, you know, I think in the last 40 years, they voted on it 12 times, fluoride, right? They voted yes, they voted no, they voted yes, and they've only implemented it twice. So a lot of it is virtue signaling and making people happy, but never doing anything. Government wouldn't do that, would they? No, heavens no. But there is naturally occurring fluoride in the water anyways, and it's fine. Okay, naturally occurring fluoride is good, okay, in small amounts. But the stuff that they want to introduce is not good. Now, our system as it sits will take up to about 74% of the fluoride out. Okay? Then we have an add-on smaller filter that will take it, will remove it to over 90%. So if it ever does come in there, we're prepared, we're ready to get the vast majority of that fluoride out of the water.
Sorry, can you just clarify, your system takes out 74% of naturally occurring
Fluoride as it sits now.
Okay, and then if they were to implement fluoride, would we need an add-on?
Yes, you would, yes, to get it up to over 90%.
Otherwise, it would just sit at 74%. Fluoride, both fluoride, naturally
Yep.
occurring and the synthetic?
So just repeat it for those online, James.
Sure.
Question.
So the question was, our system now takes up to 74%. We have an add-on that'll bring it up to over 90%. If they introduce the fluoride into the system, then our system will still take out that much fluoride, but you will need the add-on to get it up to over 90%. That's just how fluoride works. Just because of the different carbon configuration that you're going to need to get the fluoride molecules out of it. That's just how it works.
And do you consider your filter the best? Like
Of course I
any
do.
other?
Love questions like that.
100%. Is
Pardon?
there any filter that can take out 100% of fluoride?
If any,
So you like distill your water and then, I'm just curious because I have right now some feedback.
Yeah.
I distill the water, I put it in my septic and I drink it. But I'm in a condo where I cannot have a whole house filter.
no, but you can have our apartment size.
Exactly, but I'm just curious as to, should I?
Yes, you should.
sooner than later?
Oh, you should switch right now. No, so this is what I'll say, okay, so with the Santiva and those, they will take out a certain amount, okay? Chemically speaking and practically speaking, they don't take out near the same amount that we do. That's just a scientific fact because of how we do things, the way we do things, it's different. We will take out more chemicals and more of those chemicals out of your body. Okay, so quick now. All the stuff that I have here, you can call me. I can send you stuff if you want. Well, I'm just going to read 14 reasons why you need clean, healthy water. It lubricates our joints. Man, I was doing some stuff this weekend, doing some volunteer work. Oh man, I bent over all weekend like this. Trying to stand up was tough. It lubricates your joints, makes movement easier. It forms saliva and mucus. We need that. It delivers oxygen throughout the body. It boosts skin health and beauty. It's like you've been doing it for years, man. It cushions the brain, spinal cord, and other sensitive tissues. Think about that. Brain injuries, health issues. Right? Water will do that for us. It regulates body temperature, especially on a day like today. Our digestive system depends on it. Gut health is a big thing. Clean, healthy water helps your gut health. Helps your gut, helps it heal, helps it get the healthy nutrients to where they need to go. And the reason I know that, my wife tells me just about every day. It flushes bodily waste. It helps maintain blood pressure. Your airways need it. It makes minerals and nutrients acceptable. It carries the nutrients to your bodies where it's needed. It helps prevent kidney damage. It boosts performance during exercising. Anybody who exercises, what do you see them drinking? They always go back to water, need water, need water, need water. And weight loss. It helps with weight loss. Okay. The 15th one, if anybody's so inclined, clean, healthy water does help for a hangover. Just saying.
So, just a question, we didn't talk about if it's acidic or alkaline, where's your water?
We don't do anything with it. Okay, I think the city's is 7.8.
It's alkaline.
Yeah, and we really don't change it at all. Right? We don't add anything. We don't add anything. Like I think what is it? The Santiva. It adds. Yeah. It adds.
Add some minerals.
It adds some minerals to it. Yeah. So we don't do that. We just take out the chemicals and contaminants and leave water in its natural nutrient-rich state. That's what we do. Okay.
So can you just talk for a moment or two about these different systems, like where are they installed? Where are these systems you have? Can you talk for a minute or two about
Sure.
where are they installed in the house? What if you don't have a house, you live in an apartment?
So for our whole home water system, what we do is we'll attach it to your main water inlet, okay? So that it will clean water to every tap in your house. So you just don't have to go to the kitchen or your refrigerator to get drinking water. You can do it out of the bathroom tap. You can have a drink while you're having a shower, if you like. I don't recommend the toilet, but that's always an option.
Cats like it.
Cats like it. So we have that for houses, for townhouses, different things like that. That have a main water shutoff that we can tap into and do the whole home. For apartment condos, for RVs, we have a smaller one. It's just a smaller version of the big one. The same chemical makeup, everything is the same, only it's smaller. It fits under your kitchen sink. Now, unfortunately, we can only do the cold water. We can't filter hot water. It's not good. It won't work. The hot water will break down the carbon too fast.
In the whole house too, or this is just.
This just goes to your cold water inlet, and then after we filter it in your house, your filtered water goes to your hot water tank. So this is before anything in your house. So for an apartment, it'll go under there, and then it'll clean and filter your cold water in your kitchen sink. And for an apartment, what we have is we have a shower head with a carbon pipe, okay, that you can attach to your shower, and then you'll have carbonated filtered water for your shower. Do you have a question?
Is this what's called restructured water? Here with that.
No, we don't. No, we don't do the restructured water. Okay.
How's that different? Or is it not even?
It's not because we don't add anything to it. All we do is we take out things that shouldn't be there. Okay, so the chemicals and contaminants are introduced into the water through various methods, whether it's through cows, the horses, the this, that, flushing of the sewage system. We just take that stuff out. Okay. Pardon, what? Yeah.
You mentioned at the beginning about hydrogen bonding.
Yeah.
And so your system uses.
And that's the chemical attraction for taking the contaminants and nutrients out. Is you design the we have a multi-stage carbon and different types of activated carbon. Okay, that will attract with the chemicals and contaminants and pull them and keep them in the tank. Okay.
Filters, how often do you have to change them? Like, if I put something in underneath my kitchen sink.
5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
Okay, so that's
It's a
a
self-
watermark and a safe filter.
It's a
One every 3 years.
yeah. It's a self-contained system that's designed for the average household use of 5 years. And this is what I'll tell you. We're a small family company, and Malcolm can attest to this. After about 3 years with the water filter here, he goes, you know, James, something's a bit off. I came in, I changed the whole thing. So what we do is we lease the units. We don't sell them. We lease them because everything has a shelf life. And what we don't want is you to buy it and 15 years later going, oh, this is a terrible system. It's not working. Well, it's used up. So we lease it for $49.95 a month. Okay. But with that, you get 100% warranty. Anything happens, goes wrong, it leaks, this or that, give us a call. We'll fix it, replace it, no charge to you, as long as you have our system.
And that's the whole house?
That's the whole house.
What about the apartment?
Apartment is
Shower
is $29.95 a month.
And the shower head?
Comes with it.
So it's
I don't think it's
$30 a month.
Whole house?
Yeah,
30 bucks. No
30
matter
bucks
what,
for
no
the
matter-
for the apartment one is 30 bucks a month, and that gives you the undercover one and the shower. The whole home is $50 a month.
And then you come every 5 years. and replace
I
it.
call you up in 5 years, say it's time to change it. I'll come in, swap it out, you get a new one, carry on.
But depending on the size of the house, you may go through that a little bit faster.
You know what?
so
If
I
you've
think
got a baseball team living at your house and this,
I know.
and you go
Yeah.
through it faster, and you call me up in 3 years and say, you know what? It's off. Something's up. It smells. I'll come and change it out. No big deal.
So you would install it, not, you don't have to get a plumber?
You can if you want, but I
Okay, but so
I can install it.
company would do that.
And it's an installation fee.
there is. So for a standard install on a house is $170. Okay. For an apartment size, it's $120. Just because Matt Parts is coming. The parts, some of them have doubled the cost. It's crazy. Right? So that's it. What's that? You get it swapped out for free.
Also, you don't pay.
In 5 years. If you have it for 5 years, I'll just come and do it. It won't cost you a dime.
And the main difference is that when he cuts in the main line, he's literally got to like cut in and do all that. So, and then once it's there, it's just like, it's shut off the main line, it's a quick switch versus like doing the whole process again.
No, for under the kitchen sink, it's not. So I just use the braided hoses and I just add a braided hose to come in and go.
Did you bring one to show us how big it is? That you counter?
It's 17 inches high, 8 inches in diameter.
Okay, I need to know that. because
Everything's on the
I have a
website.
small-
It's,
okay.
I've got it all. It's northernwatercleaners.com. Yeah, and after you guys can all come up and get one,
If I change apartments,
we'll move it with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, if you move, Calgary has this thing of moving more than any other city in Canada. People in Calgary move more than any other city. They do.
You're always trying
And
to find a
if you
place.
move, we'll move it with you. Part of our service.
They will you move for us.
Yep. Now, if you move to Aruba or somewhere like that, definitely I'll move it. You might have a house guest for a couple of weeks, but I'll move it.
So one last question. Do you-
Yes.
If you can't, for my part, the building doesn't allow me to install that kind of stuff. Do you have anything that's standalone, right, portable, or anything that?
So
I can use
with the
instead?
apartment, all we do is we take your braided hose from your cold water and turn it this way and add another one that way.
Okay.
There's no
So
cutting,
they won't know that we.
there's no intrusiveness whatsoever. All you do is you unscrew it and screw it back together. That's it. Okay, so it's 10 to 5. If you have any other questions, I'll be over here. You can ask me. You want me to come out, show you it? You want to book an install? I'll be more than happy to. Yeah, we're here in Calgary.
And if you want to try the water, we've got a little filling station we just installed too. The only difference is we've also added the spiral vortex pipe on it, which then restructures the water.
You got that too? Like that?
No, that's something totally different.
It's something different.
Yeah,
You'll have to get him down too.
no, I don't do that. Yeah, so it's not necessary. It's just an extra thing we wanted here. Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I hopefully you found that useful. I know water is like a big thing. It's like, how do we get it filtered? And so, thanks, guys. Everybody tune in online and send out the recordings.